One Piece chapter 946 dropped roughly 4 days ago, 2 days ago if you would read it through the official channels. And a lot of people seem to be having issues with it. I personally am not one of them, so I just wanted to go through the chapter and explain why I personally think it's a great chapter. Now, first of all, one of the things that a lot of people seem to have a lot of issue with is that Big Mom basically 1 shot or 2 shots or 3 shots, however many shots you want to take, but she basically destroys Queen in a matter of seconds. And I don't see why people have an issue with that, considering that Kaido did the exact same thing to Luffy. And I would say Big Mom is as strong as Kaido. I know one-on-one, the whole thing about, oh, if in a one-on-one fight, you can't do anything to Kaido. But I feel like that has more to do with his defense rather than his offense. And I feel like if you want to look at it from a offensive capability, Big Mom is just as capable, if not a little bit less, tiny little bit less capable than Kaido. I don't think any of the Yonko are significantly weaker than the other. I think Kaido reigns at the top, but I don't think any of them are significantly weaker than the other, because I feel like otherwise there wouldn't be 4 Yonkos. Otherwise one Yonko would have taken the advantage and would have actually annihilated another Yonko. So from my personal opinion, power scaling in One Piece has always been just one of these things that like a lot of people either care about, a lot of people don't care about. I think in this situation it makes a lot of sense. I actually expected Queen to be done after last chapter. Yonko's gonna be a Yonko. Just saying. There's a massive gap. There is a reason why there's only 4 Yonko. There's a reason why they're at the apex of piracy, despite the amount of pirates there are. And that's quite frankly because they're either A, freaks of nature, or B, just outstanding pirates, that have trained their whole life. So from that perspective, I actually have no issue at all. I think people that have issues with this are just being biased right now. I think their bias is clouding their judgment right here, because as I said, nobody bat an eye when Kaido one-shot Luffy. And everyone's like, yeah, that's Kaido, it's a Yonko. Yonko's gonna do that. But when Big Mom does it, suddenly, everyone flips up. Everyone flips their shit. Try not to swear, but everyone flips their shit, and basically it's like, oh, that should never be happening. That should never, ever be happening. That chapter, for the most part, is pretty much just focused on the prison, the mines, and we move a little bit, a little bit of story moves past you. You get, everyone's afraid of Big Mom. She was looking forward to the food. The food wasn't there, and then it turns out that Luffy is able to get rid of the collars, and that was about to decapitate him, and he gets rid of the collars, the 2 collars that are there, and now he's standing in front of Big Mom like, yeah, what, Big Mom, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be fighting you, I'm gonna be protecting the person that's right behind me, because quite frankly, he's stupid. Just saying. And I think that's a risky play, but considering that Luffy, this I think next chapter is actually going to be very interesting for 2 aspects. First of all, Luffy got one-shot by Kaido. Since then, he's been doing a little bit of training, but I don't think he's anywhere near. I don't think he's anywhere close to obviously being able to take down a Yonko. But what I think could be happening to him is that, considering that he can see the future, although slightly, not on the same level as Kyoukai, but considering that he can still see the future, that might be a good way for him to actually practice seeing the future. He may not be able to physically go up, but if you can see the future, you can still dodge things, so that's certainly something that Luffy could work on, being able to dodge Big Mom's attack and improving his future side through that way. Obviously he would be in the heat of battle as well, so that would mean that he could also work on all the other things that he's been working on. For example, this armament haki thing. There's a lot of little things like that he could work on. Of course, if Chopper talks to Big Mom, considering that she is still Olin, not Big Mom. But yeah, if Chopper talked to her, then maybe she would snap out of it. And what they could do is that she could train Luffy until her memory returns. That would be something. I feel almost like her memory is gonna return once Luffy does his armament haki attack on her. That's gonna jog her memory back into shape. That's certainly something I can imagine happening. But it's going to be interesting. I personally really like this chapter. I personally think there's a lot of good points in the chapters. I feel like the only negative of this chapter, honestly, is specifically, let me find the page, is specifically, where is it? There's one specific page where I'm like, oh, that needs to we need to work on a few things here. And that's the last page. That is the last page. Not exactly the last page, but the last panel. Right? Never have your back turned to a Yonko. Never have your back turned to you. She may just be Olin right now and not Big Mom. I also like the panel of like Big Mom coming down on Luffy, like her just coming down, like about to punch Luffy, and Luffy just being like, ha, you know, it looks epic, but first of all, I think that's a little bit reminiscent of like her, of like the page of like her during the wedding, coming down on Luffy, or coming down on Jinbei rather. Just obviously back there she had Prometheus in her hand, but now she's coming down like that. That's certainly I think that's a nice parallel. But also I think if you look at Big Mom as a whole, she against Queen, she didn't use Armament Haki at all. At least I couldn't see that she used Armament Haki at all. So she didn't use Armament Haki at all. Luffy is like he is prepared. He's got Armament Haki on his hand. Like Armament Haki is supposed to like give you an invisible layer of defense, like an invisible coating of armor, right? As the name suggests, the Armament Haki, right? Considering that Big Mom isn't using it, we don't know where she can use it, with her memory being gone. It's going to be very, very fascinating to see how much, like, a non-Armament Haki punch, how much damage a non-Armament Haki punch is going to do against a Armament Haki, someone that has been spending the last few days training as Armament Haki and being in a weakened state, now being back to a good state. It's going to be very, very fascinating. I feel like next chapter is going to be quite fascinating. I'm assuming we're going to probably skip away halfway through the chapter. I think we're going to get like 3-4 pages on this, and we're going to skip away. But I'm just very, very interested just to see how it goes down, because I feel like right now Big Mom is at her weakest, not just because she has lost her memory, but because she doesn't have her abilities with her, Prometheus, Zeus, and obviously Napoleon. And she's not really using Haki. So imagine that a young like Kaido, again, people are just speculating whether he used Haki on his maze, right? But like Kaido took down Luffy in one hit with his maze, right? Named attack. It was a named attack. Big Mom took down Queen in 2 hits, not named attack. So that's without her using Haki. So I feel like this next chapter might actually answer whether Kaido was using Haki against Luffy. I feel like the next chapter might answer. So like I said, I personally think the Yonkers are all fairly close, and I want to see how it goes down. I want to see how it goes down. All right, folks. I want to see how it goes down. I'm excited. I think the chapter was good. I think the chapter was very, very good. Yes, I don't think you should turn your back to a Yonko ever. And I think training in this situation is messed up, as Luffy so rightly proclaims. But you know what? When you deal with lemons, you make lemonade, and that's quite frankly what Luffy's doing right now. He's in a situation, so he's gonna use that to train. And you know what? You couldn't find yourself in a better situation than this, in all honesty. So that's just my 2 takes on this chapter. I overall think it was a good one. Personally, I would give it probably like an 8.5 out of 10, which is a good / great chapter. And that's just my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you all in the next one, everyone. Peace out, and have a nice day.